Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. The new Labour Defence Minister is a man called John Healey, and he is angry. And I'm actually going to say rightfully angry. And strangely enough, this is the one time I'm actually on the side of a Labour minister. There has been a very quick strategic defence review, and it's thrown up some truly horrifying numbers. Our military is in effect non-existent. It is so small and so depleted in terms of manpower and munitions and resource that we may as well not have a military anymore. Our military is now smaller than any time in history since before the Napoleonic Wars. This is a very sorry state of affairs. We are no longer capable of projecting power, but we're no longer capable of defending our own island nation. Our navy is so reduced, it hasn't been this small since when it was formed by Alfred the Great. Our armed forces in terms of men on the ground, army, under 70,000, marines, virtually non-existent. Our air force is depleted to the point of embarrassment. We don't pump out Spitfires 10 a day like we did during the war. We buy our hundreds of billions of pounds planes one at a time, get them, and then find we can't even fly them because we didn't pay for the upgrades. We are not a nation that can sustain itself. Should the Russians come in and invade, we could probably hold them off for about 10 minutes. Make a last stand at Whitehall and then just let them in. To be fair, I'd probably be cheering the Russians on if the first thing they did was arrest our government. But Healey has said that we are going to continue, he says, to pump in the 2.5% GDP in defence, as required by NATO, one of the few that actually do. But he doesn't know how it's going to be spent. I would suggest manpower before machines. Manpower and rifles before you start doing anything else. But then boats, lots and lots of boats, and have every single boat built in Britain. Many years ago, side story, but many years ago, in 1980, when Ronald Reagan became president, he enabled what became known as the Reagan Doctrine. He said, I want 5 carrier fleets. Now that means 5 aircraft carriers with their, corvettes, their frigates, their cruisers, everyone guarded by a hunter-killer submarine and with sufficient air cover. And people said, well, that's going to cost a fortune. And he said, no, it's not going to cost anything at all. It will be free. We're going to get it for free. And they couldn't work out how to get it for free. And Reagan said, it's simple. Every single thing, from the leather on the captain's seat to every nut and bolt, will be made in America. We will create American jobs. Those American workers will be taxed. That tax money will help pay for the fleet and its maintenance afterwards. He says we will create this huge amount of work. That money that they do earn will then go out into local communities. They'll spend it on new cars, on bars, on cinemas, on houses. We'll collect the tax from all of that. He says ultimately we get it all back in tax. And he was right. And they ended up having 5 new carrier fleets. Didn't cost a penny. All those jobs, eh? And America can now, of course, and still can, project force into the world. We need to do the same thing. But we won't because of who we've got sitting in number 10. However, what's truly frightening is that actually now there are more people working for HMRC than in the defence of this country. And that is frightening. Although I suppose you could say that the mindset at Whitehall is the best form of defence is a tax. Thanks very much. Bye.